evening, keepers of the cash. Gary B, the casual comic guy here, and joined just like every Tuesday. Got my wingman, Rob Fat Stax of Comics. How you doing?
Hi, everybody.
Rob? And he's looking somewhat awake.
I actually am. I had good amount of sleep last night, so
nice.
We'll see. That's now. We'll see what happens in 20 minutes.
Right. Once the age kicks in. Right.
Because it is 5 o'clock my time, so it's right that perfect napping hour.
Our guest of honor tonight, you see him on here a lot as a co-host. You've seen him on here as a guest a few times, making his third appearance as the guest. We have none other than Pocan Joe. Joe, how you doing tonight, sir?
What's going on, keepers of the cash?
You ready for your job?
A wonderful night.
You ready for your job interview? I see here.
Yeah, right.
Now,
I didn't know that Gary was going to make me interview my replacement.
There you go. Well, he's already dressed better, so. Yeah. Now, Joe, for those who are going to catch us on the rewind and they don't know you and they haven't had the pleasure of meeting you yet, tell them who you are, what your channels are about, and then we'll say hi to the chat.
Well, first off, I got to tell you, you're probably one of the luckiest people out there. No. So my name is Pocan Joe.
We're not meeting you.
Yeah, right. My name is Pocan Joe. I love alcohol. I love making things, and I love comics. Sometimes I mix them all three together on 2 YouTube channels. One, Pocan Joe Comic Book Review, where I pick up my weekly hauls, I write some deep shit about it, and then I regurgitate it to you and see what we can talk about in comic books, about what's going on in them, and the deeper meaning, stuff in between the panels, and just my overall opinions on them. And then I have another channel completely the opposite, where I have an evil Lair, where I make stuff. You name it. Customer's choice type of thing. We just finished up with a wrestling championship belt and gave it to our good friend Bleecker Comics up in Canada. So nice. That just dropped. So that's me in a nutshell on YouTube.
Awesome. All right, we're going to say hi to the chat, and then we're going to come back to you for your first book. And Las Cruces is slipping. He didn't get beat by one, but by 2 people. Oh. First in, Jerry the Jitterbug. How you doing, Jerry? One of my favorite people. How you doing, bud? Brad Wellbore, another good Canadian. How you doing, Brad? Then we have James Las Cruces coming in. How you doing, James? Nice to see you, sir. We have Kevin, one of the best supporters out there. How you doing, Kevin? Nice to see you, buddy. All right, we have Derek Cavan. Nice to see you, Derek. Mr. Chuck Hensey. Good evening, sir. Anachronic Comics. Joe is here. Nice to see you, Joe. Another one of my favorite people.
Great name.
Right?
Joe.
It is a great name. Anachronic. The Comics Lounge. Good evening. How you doing tonight? Nice to see you. We have the Kenneth Bird. Nice to see you, Kenneth. Thank you for your support. And we have Seth 11 coming in.
Love it.
Mr. DVH. How you doing tonight, sir? KDBM. How you doing? And we'll just keep giving the nods as people pop in.
Yeah.
As we always do. We leave no one unthanked. But Joe, let's get back to you. So what have you got for us for your third round? Is it getting easier each time you're on?
Easier because I went back and watched to make sure I didn't do anything again twice, and I noticed that I was mentioning comic books that I didn't have because we were just talking and chit-chatting. So I grabbed some of that stuff and I kind of themed this one out for everybody. And we'll talk about that later. I may give something away tonight if it's not too complicated. So first thing we'll do is we got Strange Tales, number 134. Great Watcher cover, and this is the 4th appearance of a Prime King, right? And it's the first mention of Eternity. So we talked about one time I was in there, I gave my spec book was the first appearance of Eternity.
It was.
There's his first mention. And that's
nice.
It's a classic cover.
It's a great Watcher cover.
Yeah. So this is 1965.
And are you still thinking that we're going to see Eternity in the future?
We did. They totally butchered it in Thor: Love and Thunder.
But I mean for realsies.
I don't know, man. I think that was our big aha.
You think the ship sailed on that one? Yeah.
Yeah, I failed everybody out there.
That's okay.
That's all right.
Mephisto's coming,
anyway. Don't worry, everybody.
We have Anachronic Comics who's fat shaming the Watcher.
He does. Oh my goodness, we'll talk about that after. Because I just read. Never mind. Because he's
Bleaker,
like a
how
big
you doing
guy.
tonight, sir? Nice to see you.
What's going on, Bleaker? So yeah,
I was just thinking about it the other day. I was looking at the first, FF48. And I was like, man, he's got some thick thighs.
yeah,
Either he doesn't miss leg day, or
yeah. All the way back in Fantastic Four, first appearance of Silver Surfer, he was kind of a chunky looking guy, like a big baby.
I mean, I guess he's the first couch potato.
I'll say that's what happens.
All he does is watch, right?
Watch.
I like to watch.
Number 2.
Oh man.
Joe.
All right, number 2, we got Tales to Astonish, number 38. This is one of those weird villains that I really like. Egghead. It's his first appearance. It's the fourth Ant-Man, 1962. This is probably, I had a copy of this and I got rid of it, but this is much nicer than that one. So I was super happy to get that.
That's right. What a lawyer.
And I love good villain cover.
Well, that, and you gotta love some of the wacky villains that Marvel and DC put out back in the day. That
definitely.
We need a book. Just throw someone in there. Make it up. I don't care.
With like Paperman and Eraserhead. Like one was in Wonder Woman, the other one was Batman.
Come on, Condiment King, man. Condiment King.
Definitely Condiment King.
Kite Man, still Glider Man, as far as I'm concerned.
And always the infamous Paste Pot Pete.
Yeah, Piss Pot Pete.
Yeah, him too. That's Paste Pot Pete with a drinking problem.
Yeah, right.
Once he's fallen on the hard times as a villain.
Yeah, it's a hard one. That's one of my little villain ones that I've been looking for lately. If I get it at the right price, I'll definitely own that.
That reminds. I want to get some of these weirdo villains on some of the next sketch covers I do.
Bleak, he dressed up just in case you showed up. He didn't want you to catch him all sloppy. Commissioner's in town. I'm taking a book from Biggie Shack's latest character over on his show.
Right. All right, number 3, sir.
Number 3. All right, so this one's really cool. This almost was going to be a spec book, but I held off on a better spec book. So I got it's Fantastic Four Annual number 6, first appearance of Nihilist. Ooh. And technically the first appearance of Franklin Richards. He's a baby in it. Huh? Like the last panel, I think we're calling those cameos now. He's like, no, actually it's a couple of panels. They're holding the baby and it's Franklin.
Right.
So I assume that's, I guess, I don't know.
And it's so weird because that's such a character. They either do something with them and they do it for a little bit, or they do nothing with them at all.
Mm-hmm. And this is just a great story to read too, by the way. It's just awesome.
When you make a character basically a god, you do have to kind of find ways to either not use them or. So what was the last time they did it? Basically, he was burning himself out.
Yeah. And then he lost his powers, but then you always have a MacGuffin, right? The ultimate nullifier to get rid of him or something.
Well, see, I'm hoping that when we do get the Fantastic Four, we do get an ultimate nullifier.
I want to see it. I wish somebody in those movie studios would ask me to make the prop for it. Because I'd just make it just as ridiculous as I.
Right. But one day now that they have the FF. I mean, we got to see a Hulk Thing fight at some point.
Oh, yeah. So quick rabbit hole. Let me know how this sounds to you guys. So they're talking about making the Silver Surfer a female, I believe, is what I'm hearing, which I'm on board for. But I would still say that that's extremely misogynistic. Because if you look at the nature of Silver Surfer, his job is to go and prepare a planet for Galactus to eat, right? Right. And I think women are above making meals for men. So whoever made that decision, shame on you, you toxic people out there.
And Taylor can't wait to be nullified by you.
Like I always say, if you know the game, play the game.
That's right. I mean, once he sends her out to get him food, that's all over, right?
Yeah, right. That's. I mean, women are better than that.
And barefoot to boot. I mean, come on.
Well, now we know that FF244 is going to be hot for like 3 months because it has Juno in it.
Yeah.
and then it'll go back down like everything else does. But well, I'm wondering if they bring Frankie Ray back at some point.
Oh, that'd be a good question, actually.
Right? Frankie Ray's a good character. I wouldn't mind seeing her. All right, number 4, sir. I just sent you down a mental path. I saw it happen.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Chuck Hensey, El Toro, just a load of bull.
So this one is kind of weird. This one I picked up when I went to Heroes Con, and like I always theme my things out instead of just looking for random books. And I was like, you know what? I think I want all the first appearance, villain, Silver Age first appearance in Batman of the mainstream Rogue Gallery, right?
Right.
And there was one book that I kept putting off, and the guy just had it for the right price. It's not the best looking copy out there, but I'm still grateful to have it. And it's Batman number 171.
Oh, okay. That is a great book. I thought you were going to pull up the first Mr. Freeze. And I was like, you son of a bitch.
I have that one. I think I showed that one on here, actually.
I think you did, because we talked about like what a good villain he is, because of he's someone you can sympathize with, because his motives are altruistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is a great book.
Yeah, I love it.
This one, especially right now. I mean, it had gone obviously through the stratosphere with the Batman movie, and now time has cooled off. This is if you didn't have a copy of this and wanted it, now is the time where this book is coming back down into the range it was before all that.
Yeah, and this is another great story. If you haven't read these books, you can read comic books for free online. I'm just saying.
You know what? I love that they just weren't afraid to put a big purple cover on these books either.
Great stuff, yeah.
Well,
Bad thing is, it will catch any markings on that thing.
I was gonna say that you got a nice clean copy. Is that your original copy, Joe?
No, this is the one I picked up at Heroes Con.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was like, but I knew I was gonna get it for a better price than what I saw it, so I just went ahead and picked it up. Are we catching a theme yet?
Well, first appearances. If there's something deeper, I'm too stupid to see it right now.
All right.
Number 5, buddy.
Okay, another Fantastic Four for you. This is just a classic cover, but again, it's another first cover appearance of a lot of Watcher going on in this one.
Yeah, Uatu.
This is Fantastic Four number 29.
The original Voyeur.
Yeah.
That's where there was a bunch of police reports on Yancey Street of people peeping in their windows and stuff. Turned out it was just the Watcher.
Or his cousin, the Peeper.
Yeah.
And if you haven't read Howard the Duck this week, I suggest you go out and get it.
Is it good?
No, it's horrible, but it's his 50th anniversary.
That's one I didn't pick up, and I picked up a bunch. I think I picked up like 8 Conan covers.
Yeah. So it started on Yancey Street.
Hold that up for a second again? It looks like the Reed and Johnny, man, they've been like horseback riding or something along with the thing. I think.
Yeah, they got that bootleg going on.
Yeah.
Well, though, what I always loved about that cover, I just love that he took the time to draw their shadows.
Yeah.
I think it just had the nice touch of detail that some of those older guys put in.
Yeah, it definitely kind of just makes it more 3-dimensional. And believe it or not, this is stupid, right? But look at the detail of the buildings in the background. In today's artwork, that would just be kind of a blurred thing. They would take the time to put the windows there, trim around the windows.
Yep. Right.
Cutouts on the buildings. Like, it looks like something you would see in New York City.
It's a fantastic cover.
Yeah.
It's a good call, Kevin. I don't know. Can the Watcher see Sue Storm even when she's invisible?
Ooh, I would think so, right? Like, he's done that.
I mean, if he sees always.
Is the Watcher just Santa Claus?
Right, he just knows.
And not only that, if you're the Watcher, do you see if you see it at that level, do you just see everybody naked? It's a curse. It's a curse and a blessing.
They might be cutting their own eyes out.
Oh,
Make it stop. Make it stop.
Number 6, Joe.
All right, so this one everybody should know. It's Amazing Spider-Man number 46.
Warlord.
Gotta love that first
Nice
shocker. The shocker.
Barely even knew her.
You know, right? You know, Joe, and as silly as his costume looks, I always loved his costume for some reason.
I totally get this costume. Like, it makes sense. Like,
Right.
it would make more sense. Like, if it was to change it in the real world, all these little like stitch lining through here, I would probably make all that like copper wiring up to the glove, so it just looks like it's all together. You know, just.
And I thought we were going to get him in a movie when they had built the things in that first Spider-Man.
We got him in a movie.
Yeah, they killed him.
Yeah, but not full uniform.
Yeah.
Shocked out, just like the we got like the budget shocker.
Yeah, we got like non-616
Right. I mean, if you're gonna have the shocker, you want the costume.
Yeah, yeah, or some version of it, like something
Right.
that kind of look like it. Yeah, I could get it to like some sort of armor or something along those lines. So that's 1967. I'm forgetting the dates.
Oh, okay. Well, number 7.
All right, so we got House of Secrets number 66, and this is the first full appearance of Eclipso on a cover.
Oh, okay.
First appearance, it was only half of his face, because in this Eclipso, being kind of weird, not the one with the little jewel in his eye or anything, but this one was more like a Two-Face type character. He was good and bad. I'm not even kidding. It's ridiculous.
Right. Now, I don't know a lot about this villain, so can you fill me in a little bit?
So this version of him, again, it's more like a Two-Face type of thing, where like it's kind of like the argument of duality of man going back and forth with himself as he does things, right? It was a really cool kind of testing ground with that kind of comic book writing. But then eventually we just, hey, this is kind of complicated. I'm assuming this is what happened, because it was. This is kind of complicated. Let's just make him a demon. Bam. Eclipso became the ultimate darkness with a little jeweled eye and everything. So, yeah. In this one, he is from a dimension, because that's what you said back then when you didn't want to say it was a demon. It's pretty standard, generic storytelling. There's a little bit of horror behind it. The artwork in it's really good. I really do dig it. Kind of matches the cover, so you know what you're getting in it. And it's just a fantastic story of basically him being the good guy and the bad guy and fighting himself.
Nice.
Weird.
And that's a cover I've never actually seen, Joe, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, these are one of those little ones that you can find in a huge Comic-Con, kind of just sitting in the back. Nobody really knows what it is. You can pick it up for a few bucks. It's not that bad.
Nice. So you made out with a lot of keys at Heroes Con, huh?
Yeah, well, when I was a little bit of time I was there, but yeah. The year before that, like normally I'll walk out of Heroes Con, I got like stacks of comic books that I'm just going home with. But unfortunately, this last year we had to cut short. But this year going back, since I didn't spend that much money, I'm just going to take that money and this year's money and just go just lose my mind.
Nice. Now, before we get to number 8, is there like a big key that you're hunting, or just a favorite book you want that you haven't found yet in the way you want it?
I mentioned this last time I was here. I still haven't found that Droids 1. I know it's not a big key grail book, but as I'm finishing up my 80s collection, I'm missing that one, Muppet Babies, and oh my lord, I forgot what the other one was. Droids, Muppet Babies, and Care Bears, surprisingly.
Oh, Care Bears. Now that's one I would like too, just for Grumpy Bear alone.
Yeah, just for funsies. And that collection will, and this is the cartoon toy comic book box from the 80s. That's the only 3 I need to finish that off.
Wow.
Interesting.
What about the Monchi-Cheese?
Got it. Not even kidding. I got that.
Was there really a Monchi-Cheese comic? I was making fun.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Balls, Garbage Pail Kids, they all came out about the same time. Yeah.
Oh,
Cabbage Patch Dolls. There was a Cabbage Patch doll too.
Oh, Franklin is there for the entire issue if you think about it, because he was born. So when is his first appearance?
It's fair.
Right? Now, could she turn invisible everything but Franklin so you could see Franklin?
So that's weird, because in that book, she turns invisible. She doesn't even look pregnant in the book, which is weird. But the issue before that, she turned invisible, and the baby was invisible too.
Right.
I remember that.
Right,
The
number
baby's
8.
part of her until it's not.
Right.
Right. All right. So this is, I talked about this book twice on your show and never thought to actually bring it. So this is probably the greatest story of all time. And it's what is this? Superman number 149. And this is from 1961, and this is the first death of Superman.
Oh.
And it's also the issue where Lex Luthor cures cancer so he can kill Superman. And this is a non-continuity story. He does not come back to life. He literally kills him in this book.
How does curing cancer kill Superman, though?
So he's in prison. Like, quick synopsis, right? I'll try to go through this. Oh, also one other first in here. This is the first time Barry Allen was in a Superman comic.
Oh, okay.
So, for all my
A lot of
Flash fans
firsts.
out there, yeah.
First death, first Barry Allen.
Yeah,
And
but it's a non-continuity story. They make that the very first page in here. They make this very clear. This is not in continuity. We're just having some funsies, right?
Right,
So
like whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow, like that 2-issue one.
Yeah. So what happens in here? It's real quick synopsis. So Luther's in jail, and he's like, "Oh, I need to learn my ways. Blah blah blah. I need to be a better person. Blah 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 blah." So he convinces the warden to give him a lab so he can work on the cure for cancer for people. Finds the cure for cancer, and Superman's still kind of like, I don't know, but we're gonna let you loose anyway. And he keeps showing up and making sure that he's okay and make sure he's taken care of. Then some mobsters want to kill Lex Luthor because all of a sudden he's a good guy now. So Superman saves him 8 times, makes him a space station to work out of, gives him a missile system to protect himself, goes up there one day and he's like, "Hey, I'm so happy. You're really helping mankind." And then it's like, kryptonite cuts him open. It doesn't show him cutting him open, but it's implied that he cuts him open while he makes Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane watch.
Wow, dark issue, huh?
It gets dark, man. It is so bad. And does not bring him back to life. That's it. He's
Just has some super liver and Chianti, huh?
Wow.
Crazy.
And Chuck Hensey's asking if you had the entire run of Star Muppet Babies except for that one you're looking for.
Oh yeah. Star Muppet Babies. Yeah, Stars Muppet Babies. That's it. Yeah. That's crazy. I know Roscoe was looking for it too. Why is Joey's about to go to a club in 1986? I was out late tonight.
And you got Alf too, right?
Yeah, I got Alf.
Okay. You gotta have Alf.
Gotta have Alf. Gotta have the Alf.
He's a must in everything. Yeah. Number 9, Joe.
All right, here comes a great little funsies, and I love this one because I had to get into a conversation with somebody at a Comic-Con. And this is one of those things where you can't judge a book by its cover, right? So it's X-Men number 40. Right? And it's like, hey, that's the first appearance of Frankenstein in an X-Men comic book. And it's not really Frankenstein. It's a robot that some aliens are programmed to work. So it's really just a robot. And the guy was like, no, he was adamant. And I was like, well, then it would be the first and only time he was in a, right?
Right.
Yeah. It wouldn't be Frankenstein anyways, because Frankenstein was the doctor. It's just the monster. Yeah.
It's the monster. So yeah, this is just a classic. I always see this every time there's 3 or 4 guys that generally have this. I love, again, this is another one of those where they just took the extra time to put in the details that I absolutely love.
All the rivets.
The rivets, the inside of the ship over here.
Well, if you're going to make an imposing robot, why not make him look like Frankenstein?
Right? Flat head. You don't have to round off a head. That's
right. Together. Doesn't matter how cobbled together it looks. You can say that's the aesthetic you're going for.
Right. So more for the monster. So some would say the first appearance of Frankenstein X-Men. Whatever.
First and only.
Right. First and only, I say.
And Mark Andrews is still looking for a copy of that book. Hulk Collector Kevin has never seen it before.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you got to get shit. Yeah, you got to go to more cons to get that. I just realized I had a book in backwards. Let me fix this real quick.
Uh-oh.
There we go. All right. So next, so this is I probably every time I'm on the 1011 or anything anymore, I'm going to start bringing more of these covers. This is GI Joe #9 from the Golden Age, and I call this just living the best life you can covers. Another soldier just running over some bad guys.
Wow.
He's just enjoying his life, doing the most horrific things. The first one I showed you was him with the flamethrower and the tank.
I remember with the smile.
And this is the first appearance of Lilith the Tigress in this series.
Yeah, and you showed me one that was like horrific, but the guy was smiling. I can't remember if it was that one or a different one.
Every one of these covers, it was a different one. All these covers, the guys, that was the one where the guy was climbing up the pole and he was putting his boot to his face, just looking down, smiling at him.
Yeah.
And this guy's just running through the fields, just knocking people over with a big old smile on his face with his buddy wrapped around him.
I know he's kind of using his buddy as like a battering ram too.
No, he's rescuing them. Come on.
I don't. This needs to be a thing in the community. I've heard of skull covers, shark covers, dark covers, this cover, tiger covers. We just need just live, laugh, love, kill covers.
Right? That's a good one, and that's in great shape for a Golden Age book.
Yeah, I mean, when I picked the first round up, and then when I picked up this second round, these were, I mean, first off, they're very durable. The pages are really thick in them. Like they're just not, they're built different, as the kids would say.
Yeah.
Now, how many issues?
It's like a lazy boy versus an IKEA chair.
Yeah, right. It's built different. So right now I have issues 1 through 10. So, and I didn't bother looking up to see if I see any more. I just know that number in the back of my head, but I'll look it up now to see, because if they change the style of artwork, it will lose it for me at that point. Sounds like a rabbit hole. It does. It's a rabbit hole, man. We need to, I'm just saying, promote it. Hashtag.
Right. Well, that, and like every time you show it, it's like, I'm surprised there was that many of them. There was like some sadistic artist out there that was just having a blast with that.
Yeah. He's just living his best life. I say it every time.
Oh, well, you know, we keep him in his corner, right?
If you do what you love, you don't work a day in your life. Like, I don't know. But still, my favorite one is him with the flamethrower and the tank, and he's just lighting Germans on fire, just cooking them inside of a tank like they were crossbones or something.
Well, you know, that's why, like, those covers are just crazy from then.
Yeah.
I mean, in today's covers, you can't even get Wolverine or the Thing with a cigar anymore.
Yeah, no, you can't. No, that's not a thing. You can get a lot of people sitting around drinking coffee. That's it.
Right.
Panel to panel, people drinking coffee.
Oh, goodness. All right, wow, that's 10. All right, number 11 with a personal story attached.
All right, so this one's good. So I have always been a villains guy. Like, that's always been my thing. And some of the best villains out there, as far as I'm concerned, from my childhood, have always come from either He-Man or G.I. Joe. Those were the two best ones. And when John Jang made this cover, Firefly, one of my favorite G.I. Joe characters, because, you know, he likes bombs and burning things. And I'm like, I can relate to this guy. Coffee brand coffee, that's right. I can really relate to this guy. And when he made this cover, I went to get one. It was one of the Comic Cons we were at. And he was out of this cover. And I was like, dang. And I don't really like buying things online if I don't have to.
Right.
So, like, I started searching around, see if somebody had a copy they would sell me. Nobody had one. And I was just like, so we were talking one day, and Nick's Kicks and Comics was like, you seriously wanted that cover? And I was like, yeah, I didn't want the print. I didn't want any of that mess. I just wanted the cover. And he sent me one. Just
nice.
Because Nick's a great guy.
Yeah. You know, if you need something, he'll definitely hook you up. And God knows we've swapped comic book gifts back and forth. I don't know how many times now, whenever we see each other. So for him to actually send that to me, knowing that, and Firefly being one of his favorite characters too. I mean, just the detail on this thing. I think I wore similar gloves to that when I was in the military. You know,
So he did his research, huh?
yeah, that like it's a straight rig he's got on it. Like I wouldn't put 3 grenades together; it's a bit much, but like it's a rig up like that. That's set.
Now, do you think when you see it and it's accurate enough where you recognize a bunch of stuff, you think you think he had someone pose for it in gear?
I'm gonna say no on this one. And the reason why I'm going to say no is mostly because if I was to nitpick at it, again, you don't want to put all your explosives on one side of you.
Right.
Right. Somebody takes a lucky shot at it. You know, you don't have one going off, you got 3 going off now.
Right.
That makes pink mist, boys and girls. You know,
Is that crabapple? Nope.
I probably
Joe, you're
would be
resembling the previous cover.
You're right. I probably wouldn't be rocking out the heavy wool with a scuba suit on the back. Right? Like wool? No.
Yeah, wool in the water. Yeah, not really.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. So, you know, but I get like obviously he knows what a Molly setup is because that's what the straps are across, and like he understands the combat belt. He probably saw something like that before because that's legit as all day. Those gloves take away the metal aspect of them, make them hard plastic. That's legit as all day. So yeah, like the equipment's right, but the rig up is kind of weird for it. But who cares?
It's G.I. Joe.
I was gonna say though, you're a Joe. No bullets ever hit you from Cobra. You don't have to worry about where you got your explosives.
So yeah, this is Snake Eyes Dead Game #2. The whole Snake Eyes Dead Game run was okay. I enjoyed the run, but really, rarely do I cover by. But when I do, come on, baby, I hit it hard.
Now, are you reading the new Joe?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Loving it. When I was able to get a digital preview of it, like I was like, I got to show everybody this. Like, if it's a spoiler, it's a spoiler. And I did a video on it and just put it out there to people. I was like, get this, like, you need to read this. G.I. Joe. Like, come on now. It's not the weird G.I. Joe. It's riding the Vespa like they did in 2019. That was horrible. Wow. But like this one's good. And it's not #1. They're just picking it up from 301, which is great.
Well, it's cool because we're getting a lot of our classic properties back with people that actually understand them right now.
Yeah. Like Larry Hannah back on G.I. Joe just makes sense. Like they were his creation, and he modeled the characters after people he knew in the military, which just makes like that. You can't get more personal than that with your own property.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, you know, they're going to have character to them. Nice.
Well, and so much goodness came out of that era with just like, because they were just giving those books, anything that was licensed property, they were just giving them to people and saying, look, you're stuck with this because the creators that were getting paid a lot of money had their own runs and didn't want to touch them.
Yeah. You know,
then you had people like Bill Mantlo and Larry Hama make names for themselves off these things that everyone else looked at them like they got stuck with them and they ran with it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Joe, when it comes to G.I. Joe, is a goddamn encyclopedia fucking of knowledge. We sat here one night just pulling out random covers, and dude's like freaking naming off the fucking key first appearances in every single book. He knows, and like, yeah, these are books that have like 5 and 6 different guys in them, and he knows exactly which ones they're doing. He's not looking them up; he's just rattling them off. Boom! Yeah. It was like insane.
Yeah, I was like when
Joe's love of Joe is legit.
Yeah, I cannot tell you when I was a kid. Like I was horrible with toys as a kid, but like G.I. Joe was the easy toy to buy me as a kid. And we lived out in an area where you could pretty much do whatever you want. So there was fireworks, fires, bricks, BB guns, 12 gauge. Like you could do whatever we wanted. And like our G.I. Joe figures, they flew through the air and caught fire. We made jetpacks for them. Like we just totally lost our mind. The deal was, as long as you didn't lose a finger or an eye.
Well, that's also back in the day. Like I remember my parents would have no idea where I was till I came back home.
Mm-hmm.
You're just out.
Yeah, but there were certain toys that did better with certain stuff. Like, I had a lot of Star Wars stuff. That was an inside toy. You didn't take that stuff outside so much. But I had a buddy of mine that had tons of that G.I. Joe stuff. He had a small farm, and there was an area now. So you went out there with all the GI Joe stuff, and you can set up your stuff, and there was all of a sudden the pool, this little waiting pool became the frickin' was buried, sunk down for the animals, was now like the place where all the boats were going in there, and you were launching stuff all over the place. It was great.
Right.
Yeah.
And when they filled up with water, we'd set up little ambush traps as the water was running, send the boats because they could actually float to send them down and see if they could pass the Cobra.
Except that aircraft carrier, it didn't float worth a damn.
That thing didn't. You couldn't pick that thing up.
All right. So, did you have a favorite GI Joe toy as a kid, Joe?
So it would have been Snake Eyes. That was the one that I was most concerned about not losing or losing any of its equipment. And then I also liked the Bat robot. I just thought was an absolutely competent, great design. It came with the most accessories, just the classic, there was a little problem with the sticker peeling off. We'll see if we can fix that. Like that was, and I loved the Badger, the little truck, their version of a Humvee.
Right.
I loved that truck. I must have gone through like 8 of those trucks growing up.
I used to love the Hiss tank. Destro, and then Zartan and his dudes.
The sled, yeah. He had the snowmobile sled for water. I remember.
Did Joe ever blow up any of his GI Joe figures?
Yeah, I blew up like almost all of them.
Nice. So you started young with the explosives.
No, I was always good with it.
and that's when he learned not to put 3 explosives on one side.
I learned my lesson.
Right.
Shocker.
Right.
This is all bionics. Yeah.
There we go. All right.
All right. Let's get to your spec pick, Joe.
All right. So the trailer already dropped for this. So we already know this is going to be a thing. But I think what we're kind of missing is if you haven't seen the original movie, right, you need to go watch it. If you're not a fan of Toma.
I had a feeling it was Godzilla.
Toma. Be a fan of Toma.
And you're talking the original Japanese version that didn't have the American
Troma.
Trauma.
Oh, Trauma.
I meant Trauma. Sorry, I said Toma. I meant Trauma. Sorry.
Nope.
Yeah. Good old fashioned Trauma. This looks like it's going to be just as gory as the original. The entire trailer just felt like something from back then. Yeah, Trauma. Thank you. Yes, I had this whole cool intro and I fucked it up. But anyway,
quick. All right, let's turn it off. Let's start over again.
Yeah, just start the show over again. Cut. This is
welcome to Joe's last appearance on the 10.
we don't do editing here. So we got to start over.
So yeah, and I remember first watching this when I was a kid, and I was like, this is something like I was young, right? And I was like, how is this on TV? Like this is
had to be young because I'm trying to remember. I remember I was young when it was on TV.
Yeah, and stuff we
it was on TV. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Late at night, I think it was like Channel 33 or USA or something like that.
Like Channel 10 or 10 o'clock at night or something like that.
Yeah, they would play these B flicks, and I remember watching The Toxic Avenger, and I vaguely remembered something about the car. No, I didn't.
The car backing over the kid's head.
Yeah,
that's what that was like when I was. That's the scene that stood out for me the most when I was a young kid. Was watching that car back over the kid's head and his head explode.
And then, like a few years later, all of a sudden, there's a cartoon and a toy line, and I'm like, this doesn't look like what I saw. Right. This is very different. But I think this is going to go in the same vein as the old
Trauma.
Why am I having trouble saying it? I haven't drank this.
It's like trauma, only with an.
I wanted to say trauma actually because I'm thinking head injury.
Right, exactly. You have to have a little trauma to enjoy trauma.
Now I still haven't seen that trailer. I keep wanting to remind myself to watch it, and then I forget whenever I get off whatever I was talking.
Yeah, it's on YouTube right now. Yeah. I'm telling you, when you watch it, again, they changed a few things at least, but you know what I mean by that really cheesy camera shots and the kind of grainy film that's what they kind of filmed the trailer as. And I was just like, oh yeah, there's my spec book. Like I was just like, that's got to be the spec book. Severely underweight.
It's not a Doma.
It's not a Doma.
Yeah, now I got to see when that comes out because I definitely got to see it.
Yeah. So just for safe bets, I'll mention something now that I know is not coming out until summer. But if I had to pick a spec here soon, I'd probably say Dead Boy Detectives because that should be out next January.
Ooh.
That's Sandman number 25, first appearance.
Now you have eidetic? I'm trying to think of the word. I'm forgetting.
Eidetic?
Yes, eidetic.
I don't have an eidetic memory.
No, just a really good one.
No, I just have I associate. I use associations. So I can remember. And even then I screw that up. You always see me forget stuff. I'm like,
yeah, like Toma.
Yeah, Toma. Toma. Don't you want some Toma? It sounds like something you would eat, actually.
Hold the Toma. Give me an pastrami sandwich with no Toma.
I bet you there's something around here called Toma, and I just saw the sign and it got stuck in my head. I would say that. No, but I'm very absent-minded. If I don't associate something, I'll forget it.
That's all right, it happens, especially our age, Joe.
There's a restaurant.
I can go in the next room and forget what I went in there for, so I understand.
My whole YouTube channel is just so I have something to watch when I have like dementia and I'm in an old folks home, and I can be like, well, this guy, I like this guy.
Right.
This guy seems pretty intelligent.
This guy's got it going on.
Joe, the Toma is Latin American slang for drinking.
There you go.
I guess I did know.
How'd all you people get in my room?
All you people that corrected me.
Yeah. And also apparently it's an Italian. It means a wheel of cheese made by a farmer. Or there was a TV series called Toma. There's a restaurant and bar called Toma.
Just don't forget sponge.
So there's lots of things to go there, but I'm going to go for you. I'm going to go with drinking.
I'm going to go with drinking too.
Yeah,
drinking and cheese. I do like cheese.
Nice. Joe, those are fun, great books.
Good. Yeah, I hope y'all, because again, this is so fun to do because like I said, you get boxes and boxes, and comic books just need to be seen. If nothing else, they show them off.
And I do like those observed golden age terror books where someone's doing something absolutely horrendous and having the best time ever.
Smiling. I can't. It warms my cold heart.
In a minute, we will go around the horn.
But I don't know what Gene is talking about, but man, that sounds like a scary combination.
Right.
Well, you should put some onions on there while you're at it. Jesus.
Sounds like you challenging me.
Joe's next video will be from the bathroom.
You said you like exclusive content? Guess what? Today.
Shitty content.
Right. So before we go around the horn here and say our thank yous, let's give Marcus a quick plug. We're gonna play him because he's got his FOC.
What's up, comic book players and players? It's a pimp named Slaughter here, and you are watching the 1011 with Gary B, the casual comic guy, and the keepers of the cash. I'm just coming through to let you know that tonight after the show at 8:30 p.m. Central Time over at Circumstances on YouTube, we'll be doing another episode of FOC and Chill. Link to join the stream will be in the chat, and as always, the audience will decide, will we talk about FOC or will we talk about some other randomness in the comic book community? Hope to see you there.
All right, so catch FOC and Chill after this show, guys. Head on over there and have a good time with Marcus. So, Joe, great books. Always. It's always fun having you on, especially I love your comic book knowledge. It's always on point. I was trying to get Mark Andrews on tonight because he's a guy compared to you for comic book knowledge because his knowledge is great too. And
but he said he didn't like you, so
that's fair.
He doesn't have to he doesn't have to like me. Liking me is never a requirement for anything. I'm okay with not being liked. Don't like me away. It's fine. But great books and always a great time having you. Of course, you stepped in at the last minute to fill the shoes of the comic vet who ended up having to work. I appreciate you coming.
Oh,
on
did he
minute.
contact you with less than 24 hours saying he couldn't do the show? I know all about that.
No, he
I'm
did
just
it.
kidding.
He did it within 24 hours. He was good.
I'm just teasing.
I was gonna pick on Chris, but I picked on Chris a lot lately, so I gave him a
Oh, I
pass
pick
on
on
the
him all the
picking
time
because Chris is so easy to make sweat. It's ridiculous.
I was going to say that was I could have sworn leading up to this that the conversations were with Chris about the show, and then all of a sudden I saw the thumbnail you sent out saying that Joe was coming on. Well, I know I'm getting old, but shit, I don't.
I just assume, since you and Chris are so close, that he already reached out to you, and I didn't want to give you information you already knew.
No.
You know, he's your Canadian brother from another mother.
Maybe.
Right?
What you do is you use this to your advantage, because Chris is one of those guys, man. If you let him down, like he's got to double up. He feels it. And just look at him dead in the camera, just like this, and be like, I really relied on you, and I had to deal with this.
You can't, because he's the guy that would have that dry towel. He'd go like this, and you'd be wringing it out in like 2 seconds later.
You know what Joe made me do to get him to come on last minute? I mean, we're talking like prison stuff.
I can't talk about it, but there's pictures somewhere.
Yeah, you're not. You're right. Start talking about Toma. It was weird.
You had me thinking Godzilla for a second with what you were saying. I was like, there you go. Yep. Well, no, because this is the 10-1-1. Chris has not stood him up on Slab Hub yet. I'm sorry, only Slabs.
He hasn't. Have you seen how many fill-in guests I have? Well, basically, if I schedule Doc
ahead of time,
I can be guaranteed. It seems at this point that Chris will contact me within 12 hours to say something's come up, but he can't attend.
Hey, if he's working, that means he's making money. If he's making money, we can see him at Heroes.
You know what? I give him grief because I can, but things happen in people's lives, and YouTube's not the most important thing unless you have no life.
Right? And he apologized to me like 5. I mean, Chris, you're good, man. You don't have to apologize. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, I understand. You have to work. I get it. It's okay.
Make money, spend it and die.
I'll just have that Slug Joe come on in your place. It's no big deal.
It's fine.
No, but honestly, Joe, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to have you on, sir.
My pleasure.
And Rob, thanks for co-hosting as always, buddy. And I want to thank.
I stayed awake mostly.
Yes, you did. And before we say thank you to the audience, Rob, what's coming up for you?
Well, Thursday I'll be doing another mystery box. It'll be, I think, Jimmy Jam's garage. We had a $48 mystery box. We'll be unboxing that, see what we got. He's usually drops some good stuff. Saturday I got only Slabs. He almost had me say the wrong thing. We'll have the Colossus Collector coming on, and then Monday we're back around with more mail call, with more probably some more Silver Age cap.
No cap.
And of course, I have to reach out because Jim cannot co-host with me Thursday, so I'm going to have to reach out for a co-host. We are going to have Adrian Pandawsum on Thursday night on the 10-1-1.
And on this A-OK, and this A-OK, and this A-OK.
Right?
You should tell him that. Make them all A-OKs. Right? Team it out.
He can. I think he was on Only Slabs. Like half of his show books were A-OKs.
Yeah, no, those are great. I would have to say probably, Joe, the highlight was that G.I. Joe book.
I love that G.I. Joe stuff. Oh my goodness. If we ever do this again, I'll do something with nothing but Golden Age. I tried to keep it all Silver Age, but I had to bring that one.
You should do a whole 10-1-1 with those covers.
Yeah.
The 10-1-1 inappropriate edition.
Yeah, right. Live, laugh, kill.
Thank you all in the audience for coming out. We had a great turnout. Thank you guys. I appreciate you all coming out to support Joe, me, Rob. I'm trying not to sneeze because my allergies are killing me. Thank you all so much. Yeah. And as we like to say, until next time, guys, keep it casual